You're with Music 101 on Radio New Zealand National, and in the studio with me, all the way from Brazil, I have Camerata Caipira. A warm welcome to you. Thank you for coming.
Thank you.
You might have to help me with your names because I know, like, R sounds, for example, in Portuguese are different and I always mess it up. So would you please introduce yourselves?
Okay, I'm Isabella Rovo.
Bosco Oliveira.
Nelson Latif.
Victor Batista.
The music you play is regional styles from all over Brazil. Can you tell me about the main distinctions between some of the regions?
Well, Brazil, culturally speaking, is a universe in itself, just like continents like India or Europe or China. So it's so rich and there's so many traditional styles that we build up a concert that shows the hidden part of Brazil. So not the styles that are kind of well known around the world as the samba or bossa nova, but the secret styles we have at the countryside. So that's why the name also Caipira means countryside culture, something like that. And Camerata is because of our acoustic formation with lots of strings and vocals. So that's why the name Camerata Caipira.
And so what does Camerata mean? Sorry?
Camerata would be like the classical concept of having an acoustic formation with strings like violins and cellos and so
Usually a small group as well.
In a small group, right? Yeah. So that's why we're a small group playing that sort of music.
And you have some beautiful and unusual, I would say, string instruments that I've not seen before. They all seem to be variations on the guitar, or in your case, kind of like an ukulele.
Yeah. Well, the Brazilians love guitars. We just love it. It's our national instrument is the acoustic guitar, but we also like to twist them around. So the one that you are seeing here with me is a cavaquinho. It's just like an ukulele, but with one added strings and steel strings, so we can play also melodies on it.
Beautiful.
And we also have acoustic guitar, but also with one added strings and extra bass because of the bass lines. And the guitar that Victor is holding, it's a viola caipira. Is also there's a revival now of this instrument in Brazil. It was an instrument brought by the Portuguese, and it sounds so lovely. It sounds like a river. Hey.
This is such a treat. And this is a 10-string, and it's all steel strings?
Yeah.
Yeah, steel strings, yeah.
Steel strings.
Beautiful. So if it's a national instrument, what is the guitar and all the variations of the guitar playing culture like?
Guitars are always an instrument of the people, no? Because it's a cheap instrument, you can take it anywhere. And like the one that the cavaquinho or the Brazilian ukulele, if you want, was a sailor's instrument because it was easy to bring on the. It doesn't break that easy. It's small. It's carryable. So that's why we love guitars also, because they are cheap instruments and you can make lots of music with that.
Well, shall we hear some of it?
Yeah. Okay, vamos tocar baiãozinho. Maybe we're gonna play a piece only with the guitars, with the 3 guitars, so we can see how it sounds.
And what is the piece?
The piece is called O Baião. Baião is a rhythm of the Northeast. Northeast is a powerhouse of culture in Brazil, and the styles of the Northeast is not yet well known around the world. I hope that it will help it to be.
and do they have connections to the Caribbean or Colombia, Venezuela?
Well, actually, they have a lot of cultural connection with Africa, because during the time of slavery, there was lots of African people from all around Africa brought up to the Northeast, but they also have a strong indigenous culture. So that mix from the Europeans, Brazil received tons of Europeans with a mass immigration towards Brazil, towards the New World. Also Africans, and also the indigenous people. So that these three branches of race and ethnies and people made up what we know Brazil nowadays. And that song is pretty much like that, by the way.
Lovely.
Vambora! Isabela, vamos ouvir sua voz? Quando olhei a terra arder com a fogueira de São João, eu perguntei, ei, a Deus do céu, ai, por que tamanha judiação? Eu perguntei, ei, a Deus do céu, ai, por que tamanha judiação? Que braseiro, que fornaia, nem pé de plantação. Por falta d'água, perdi meu gado, morreu de sede meu alazão. Por falta d'água, perdi meu gado, morreu de sede meu alazão.
How do you say "yeah" in Portuguese?
Oh, you say yeah!
Yeah. Okay. Woo, yeah.
Wow!
That was great. Thank you.
Thank you.
What were you singing about?
Yeah, you know, actually, there's some paradox of the Brazilian approach to music. We sing about very heavy things. We are singing about the drought, how you say that? The dry land, and the situation that your land is so dry that you have to move to the city if you are a campesino, if you are someone that comes from a farm. But we do it happily. Even when you see this parade in Rio with people dancing till they fall from tiredness, they are singing about the hard things in life. We like to approach tragical situations in that with that mood.
Because I can't think of another music that is so joyous and sounds so much like sunshine, but it has these heavy topics.
Not
there you
always.
go.
No,
Oh,
we
not
have
out,
happy
not
songs as
out.
well, yeah.
We have a couple.
One of the things you can't see, aside from the beautiful instruments that we have here, is also that this music is so heavily tied up in movement and dance.
It's really hard for us to separate music from dance. And so the kind of music that we used to play are from traditional festivities around Brazil. And so we used to research about them, and they are always really connected, and they have a religious meaning many times, and So it's really good for us to show different kinds of dances, because I think that most people only know samba. And so we have, when you travel around Brazil, you can see many different things happening. And that's why I think it's so rich for us to play these different rhythms and show the different dances as well.
So there are specific dances associated with specific regions?
Yeah. And also it's part of the rhythm as well. So you have the clapping and the stepping, and it's also part of the percussion.
Yeah, I have just done a very small amount of Brazilian dance, but even just learning the basic step for samba, you can hear the samba rhythm and the way you're shuffling your feet, you know?
Yeah.
So we just played before a tune from the Northeast. Now we go to another area, also kind of reading for the rest of the world. That's the state of Minas Gerais. It's a state as big as France, and huge and with lots of culture. And we play one rhythm that's not in two, as people use, like rhythms from Brazil, like tum dum or pum kum kum, but in 3, 6/8 or 3/4. It's called Juriti and Maria Solidária.
Meu coração tem desejo imenso de ver o dia nascer pelo avesso. Meu coração tem desejo imenso de ver o dia nascer pelo avesso. Meu coração, mão de pilão, tem jeito do avoar. Meu coração, mão de pilão, tem jeito do avoar. Bota água na bacia que a cara do dia tá querendo vir. Tira a tranca da janela que de manhã cedo eu quero ver o voo da Juriti. Bota água na bacia que a cara do dia tá querendo vir. Tira a tranca da janela que de manhã cedo eu quero ver o voo da Juriti. Meu coração tem desejo imenso de ver o dia nascer pelo avesso. Meu coração tem desejo imenso de ver o dia nascer pelo avesso. Meu coração, mão de pilão, tem jeito do avoar. Meu coração, mão de pilão, tem jeito do avoar. Bota água na bacia que a cara do dia tá querendo vir. Tira a tranca da janela que de manhã cedo eu quero ver o voo da Juriti. Bota água na bacia que a cara do dia tá querendo vir. Tira a tranca da janela que de manhã cedo eu quero ver o voo da Juriti. Meu coração tem desejo imenso de ver o dia nascer pelo avesso. Meu coração tem desejo imenso de ver o dia nascer pelo avesso. Meu coração tem desejo imenso de ver o dia nascer pelo avesso. Choro de cara suja, meu papagaio o vento carregou e lá se foi pra nunca mais vir a nova que pai comprou. Dança Maria, Maria, lança seu corpo jovem pelo ar. Ela já vem, ela vira solidária nos ajudar. Não fique triste, menino, a linha é tão fácil de arranjar. Vem aqui, vem escolher papagaio de toda cor. Dança estava escura, o vento forte, a chuva desabou, a luz não vem, eu aqui estou a rezar na escuridão e só. Dança Maria, Maria, lança seu corpo jovem pelo ar. Ela já vem, ela vira, solidária nos ajudar. Venho no vento da noite, na luz de um novo dia. Cantarei, brilha o sol, brilha a lua, brilha a vida de quem dançar. La la la, yeah.
Oh, thank you. You look like you were having a lot of fun playing and singing that song. What were the themes of that one?
This is a happy song, but just because the lyrics are a little bit difficult, so that's why we're looking at each other, so we're trying to guess what they're starting to sing. And that's why we seem so happy.
Oh, the second tune is about Maria who is dancing. She's an imaginary Maria who is dancing here around.
Yeah.
And what's the pa-pa part?
The pa has the same meaning as in English. It's nothing.
It's kind of like a doobie-doo.
Like a doobie-doo. There you go.
That's it.
How did you go about researching all the styles from all over Brazil?
Yeah, well, actually, there are two different directions in the group. We were a quartet, although sometimes we perform with some more people, but we are a quartet. And Isabella and Victor are really deep into digging at the folklore of Brazil, so the traditional music. And Bosco and I, we come from the classical background. So we kind of complement each other. So we are.
We used to say that we're half Camerata and half Caipira.
There you go.
What are some of the discoveries about regional cultures that have really been memorable for you?
Well, the first thing that struck us was to see how complex it can be. And it's probably because of this heritage we have that took from Africa all this polyrhythmy, so really complex sort of rhythming and percussion, and also the richness we got from the music from Europe. We are very much influenced by the classical music, romantic music. Even our most simple song has some complexity on it, and that was especially for Bosco and I, who comes from a classical background, learning that music, you have to study your whole life to be able to compose good music and things like that. And then you go to the countryside and you see very simple people doing wonderful music. Just to give an example about a guitar player, he was one of the founders of the Brazilian guitar. Although he could barely write and read, but he could compose things that are so nice, and like this, for instance. It's called Som de Carrilhões, so the sounds of the... Oh, não tem bolinha aqui. The sounds of the bells of a church. Things like that. So they are very well defined and well composed, but they are made by very not studied people. That's what struck us the most when you start going into the traditional styles.
What was the name of that composer?
Composed João Pernambuco.
We have time for just one more, if you would allow us that.
So our national style of music, the proud of Brazil, the samba, and pity there's carpet in the studio, otherwise Isabella would go dancing all around. Barracão?
Barracão é seu, vou desocupar.
Coração é meu, eu vou desabafar. Me dá meu violão que eu vou embora. Quero mostrar à senhora que eu tenho aonde morar. Me dá meu violão que eu vou embora. Quero mostrar à senhora que eu tenho aonde morar. Barracão é seu, eu vou desocupar. Quero mostrar à senhora que eu tenho aonde morar. Se meu barracão é seu, pode ir fingida mulher. Tens o coração de anjo, as feições de Lucifer. Barracão,
Barracão é seu, vou desocupar.
coração é meu, vou desabafar. Me dá meu violão que eu vou embora. Quero mostrar à senhora que eu tenho aonde morar. Me dá meu violão que eu vou embora. Quero mostrar à senhora que eu tenho aonde morar. Não quero mais teu amor, nem tampouco teus carinhos. Prefiro viver nas matas como vivem os passarinhos. Vá-se embora, enganadeira, não me venhas enganar. Não me venhas dar no barro que me deu a Guiomar.
Barracão,
Barracão é seu,
vou desocupar.
coração é meu, eu vou desabafar. Me dá meu violão que eu vou embora. Quero mostrar à senhora que eu tenho aonde morar. Me dá meu violão que eu vou embora. Quero mostrar à senhora que eu tenho aonde morar.